We have all had some bad experiences in our lives. While some end up resulting with some good, some do not. I have had many experiences like that, but one that stands out to me in particular is when I attended the University of Northern Iowa for one semester. I struggled with many things, but in the end it was a great experience for me. Had to move 2 hours away from my home and where I was felt the most safe and comfortable. I also had to move away from my family with whom I was very close with. Anyone who is a homebody or does not like to be away from their home or family for very long knows what I was going through. My younger sister Kaylee and I were also very close. Here's a picture of her and me, and then that's our cousin Jackson. She really looked up to me, even though she was just about as tall as me I had, and I really enjoyed teaching her things, especially the things that I probably wasn't supposed to teach her. I am also a very big kid at heart, so I like to spend time with her and act like I was a kid again and not worry about the adult things. It was really difficult for me to not be able to see her whenever I wanted. Also, if I was having a bad day, she would just sit and watch movies with me and never leave my side. She always knew when something was wrong, and having her around always made me feel just a little bit better. She also had a hard time with not being able to see me because I was always there for her whenever she had questions that she wouldn't want to ask Mom or Dad. My mother told me she would cry some nights because she missed me, and that just about broke my heart. My family and I are also unlike many other families in that we actually enjoy doing things together. I get along really well with my parents, and I enjoy just sitting around and talking with them. They knew just about everything that happened in my life. I also enjoyed talking with my sister because she was just too funny, and I remember what I was like at that age. It was hard for me to not have them around, talking on the phone just to not do it justice. My family and I also enjoyed doing many things together, but our two favorites were going out on the river on our boat in the summertime and going snowmobiling in the wintertime. It was really hard for me knowing that my family was back snowmobiling, which, by the way, is one of my absolute favorite things to do while I was stuck at school. I had a really close relationship with my mother. She had me at a young age, so she could really relate to me, and I could tell her just about anything. I always went to her for advice, and she always gave me good advice, made me feel better, and no matter what, she never judged me. She was there for me no matter what I needed. I guess you could say I was also sort of babied because I did not have to do much around the house, and whenever I had any questions, my parents were right there. So being out on my own was sort of a difficult adjustment for me. Not only did I struggle with moving away from the security of my home and family, but I also struggled with the whole roommate situation. I really struggled with having to live with a complete stranger in a very confined space. Adapting to living with someone else can be very challenging for some people. I had never had to share a room with someone before, so that was quite an adjustment for me. I was used to going to my room and being alone and not having anyone bother me, and if they were to come to my room, they would knock. My room was my own secret safe haven where I could go to relax, unwind, think, and just be alone. This was not the case anymore. I never knew when my roommate would be in the room or when she would be returning. I was also used to no one being in my room except for myself, and I was uncomfortable knowing that when I was out, my roommate could have anyone over and they could be rooting through my things, or even she could. She would also have her boyfriend over very often, and he would spend the night, which was really awkward. Then he would stay while she went to class, and I would have to get ready with him still in the room. I am also sort of a clean freak, and I like everything to be clean and organized. I have always lived in a very clean, tidy, and picked up home, and I would not have wanted it any other way. I guess that's where I got it from. I always kept my room clean and organized when I was growing up at home. Well, my roommate obviously did not feel the same way, and she was not a very clean person. She had her stuff everywhere in the room. It almost made me feel claustrophobic in the little cracker box of her room. One time, I even came back from being home from the weekend, and her dirty work jeans were hanging over my bed and my desk. I just about flipped. I was also the only one who ever cleaned or took the garbage out, which got really old and annoying after about the 80th time. My roommate and I also had very different lifestyles. The first thing she said to me when I came into the room was, "While you were out, my mom was looking through your stuff, and she said, she must be a girly girl." My roommate definitely was not a girly girl. We both liked to do very different things and did not have very much in common. We did not have much to talk about, and it was often very awkward. Towards the end, it was very tense as well. She would not even talk to me, and she would not be in the room if I was. And if I came in, she would leave. On top of having to move away from my family and live with someone I did not know in the beginning and then did not get along with, I also had to deal with some family issues all alone while trying to adjust to college living. It was a very difficult time in my life during my semester at the University of Northern Iowa. Many college students struggle with things that they have going on in their lives. I had some major family issues that I preferred to not get into that got dropped on me right before I left for school. It was even more difficult for me because it was something that I could not talk to anyone about, not even my mom. So I had to hold it all in, and that was really tough. I was so confused and frustrated and just did not know what to do, and I hated that I couldn't talk to anyone about it. Adjusting to college life was very difficult for me for many reasons. I was very homesick and missed my family very much. I was also adjusting to college classes at a university, which is a big change compared to high school. Also, I do not like to bring up the past, but this really affected me at the time. My boyfriend of 3 years, who was stationed in Japan in the Air Force, broke up with me out of nowhere over a text message. The point I am trying to get across through all of this is that it was not all bad, however. In the end, it was actually a good experience for me, and I am glad I went through it and toughed it out. We all have experiences that were rather bad when we went through them, but in the end, we could not have had it any other way. I would not take back my experience at the University of Northern Iowa because I learned a lot and became a much stronger person. I had to break out of my comfort zone by living with someone I did not even know in a confined space and share a bathroom with an entire floor. All of my friends gave me crap and told me that I was a germophobic, and this definitely helped me relax when it came to that. I also learned to rely more on myself because I did not have family by my side when I was going through all of my troubles. I also learned what it was like to be on my own without the guidance of my parents. I also got an actual college experience that I would not take back for the world. My parents were very clear on the fact that they wanted me to get an actual college experience because they never got the chance to. I absolutely agreed with them. I got to live in the dorms and live with a roommate. I got to meet a lot of new people and made a lot of new friends. I also met one of my best friends that I still talk to very often, and I do not know what I would do if I did not have her in my life. Although my experience at the University of Northern Iowa sounded like I did not like it much at all, that is not entirely true. Many good things resulted from my experience, and I would not have changed my decision to go there if I could.